almost deleted this video because my 7-week postpartum body here still looks pregnant. But what if I sucked in? Would that be true, honorable, right, pure, lovely, or commendable? Is that what we want our daughters to do when they have babies? I guess I just feel more comfortable sharing my postpartum body this time around because I genuinely see it as beautiful, as fleeting, both mom and baby made in the image of God.
Meet Ember Spring Keller. I love her so much. She is going to be joining us for this video today. I want to talk to you about how the Lord is convicting me spiritually at 2.5 months postpartum with baby number 5. And then at the end, also address how I am recovering physically in my actual body. Spiritually, I was feeling very overstimulated all the time between having a newborn who is crying and then other children who need me, having my phone ping, kids knock on the door, the dog whining, hearing sounds of people's lawnmowers outside. I was just feeling overstimulated. And I say this knowing full well that I don't like that word. It's a word that I never heard my mom say growing up, that I'm sure people experienced, but maybe there wasn't a word put to it. And I felt convicted to pray about this. When Jesus needed peace and guidance from his perfect Father, he sought solitude and prayer. He went to the Garden of Gethsemane before he was arrested and crucified, and he prayed to God. Before he delivered the Sermon on the Mount, he prayed. Before he handpicked his 12 disciples, he prayed. When I prayed about feeling overstimulated, God told me it's not your situation isn't the problem. Your situation is perfect. This is a blessing. You are overstimulating yourself. And this is hard to settle. I have had a tendency for many years to want to be productive with my time. And I thought doing so was being a good steward of my time. And therefore, I should multitask by listening to a podcast when I'm folding laundry, listen to an audiobook when I'm walking or running, scroll social media when I'm nursing, that I always should be doing something else with the limited time that I have. And I felt God telling me, Ashley, you are overstimulating yourself. It is not the fault of your crying newborn baby or your children or your husband. It is your own fault, and I needed to put up some boundaries. So I am going back to keeping my phone in the kitchen drawer for most of the day. My phone and watch are on a sleeper now from 7:30 in the evening until 7:30 in the morning, so that I can only be contacted by family members for an emergency. In the evenings, after all the kids are down, I make sure to just sit on the couch and lounge with Luke, maybe put my feet up on his lap. If he's deciding to scroll his phone and watch a YouTube video or something, it doesn't mean that I need to be. I can have just a moment of peace that allows me to reconnect with God, to have ears that are open to hearing from him, to offer prayers of thanksgiving, to offer prayers of supplication and share with him my needs. Before, I was turning up the volume in every area of my life, visually and audio, and probably even physically, doing so many things that I wasn't having snack time moments of peace in my day, and it was my own fault that I was being overstimulated. This is something that I'm not perfect at, but I wanted to share with you in case you're also feeling like you're in a season of being overstimulated. The symptoms are being more snappy at your husband or quick to correct your kids without even looking them in the eye and kneeling down at their level and giving them that eye contact that they need for direction moving forward. It will come across as you feeling like you can't remember what you should do next, and that's because you have allowed so much stimulus to come into your mind. Now, as a mom, I want to have a high capacity for stimulus, and I believe in putting my body in stressful situations so I can better be able to be calm, clear, and collected and effective as a leader in my home for the children that I'm discipling and raising. But what I don't want is for me to turn on a fire hose of stimulus, because essentially it's going to be like going through a strainer. Water is going to be going everywhere, and it's going to feel very confusing and chaotic. The biggest factor is my phone, and that's why I'm keeping it in the kitchen drawer and just taking it out at certain times of the day, so that I'm much more deliberate, because it's out of sight and out of my hand. You get any fish? No. Riker just got in from fishing, so he's gonna be joining us on the couch too. Physically, I am 5 weeks into the 12-week post-pregnancy plan, which has been such a gift and a comfort to me, because I know that it works. It holds me back from doing other crazy things that aren't helpful for my pelvic floor right now, but it's also humbling, because I have been legit shaking legs and sore the next day, when I kind of thought going into it, oh, I've done this so many times before, it's going to be easy. It is never easy. It is always effective. It is always worth my time. And I'm so glad that I have the 4 days per week, 30 minutes per day structure to follow for myself as a mom, so that I can be a wise steward of my time. Scripture that I've been meditating on is Romans chapter 12, 1-2. It says, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. Consider it is your bodies that is a living sacrifice. Living sacrifice means no longer are we sacrificing pigeons, incense, oxen, other things at the altar. Our bodies are a living sacrifice for God. I struggle with pride, and I want to be able to lay down my pride and have humility that my body will always be different. It will always be changed from having children, but it's not supposed to be an ornament. The best thing I bought off of Facebook Marketplace last year was a Mitre Saw. And this Mitre Saw had rust on it. It's the type that cuts perfect angles if you are making a frame. It had cobwebs on it. It was old and looked used up, but it gives me these beautiful 45-degree or whatever angle cuts that I want every time if I'm doing a wood project. And I look at that Mitre Saw, and it has aged so well and works so well for its purposes. I want to age beautifully in the way that the Lord sees me. Aesthetically, my body is going to have wrinkles, stretches, scars. I'm going to be a little lumpier and less flatter than I was at one time, but I want to be used up for God. I want to be that Mitre Saw that someone can be like, yes, she is a woman of God. She has sacrificed her body in a way that a Titus 2 woman would. I share this so that you too can pray on Romans 12, 1-2. When it goes into verse 2, it says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. Do not be conformed to this world means you don't have to bounce back just like that. You need to know that you may never look just like your pre-pregnancy self, that would be unrealistic.
He's a bad man, a gentleman. Just as fine as she can be. Hey, she's a bad man, a gentleman. Oh, just as fine as she.
But what you can do is steward your time well by exercising deliberately, doing everything possible to restore the integrity of your abdominal wall and your pelvic floor as a mother after having each baby, so that you can be intact and have energy and agility to keep up with your children, and the desire and motivation to play with them and be with them and to jump off rocks and go camping and go hiking and paddle with them, because you have taken the time to steward your body well without making it an ornament, a shiny new silver Mitre Saw that you can never touch or never use. I hope that this video was an encouragement to you. If you took anything out of it that was valuable, please give me a thumbs up. Press subscribe to GlowBodyPT, because I am doing a Becoming series right now that is going to be so impactful and transformative for your life if you are a believing woman, and I want to pour into you for free. You want to say bye, Baker? You can scoot over here. Bye.